California has problem with authority, Trump just spanked them with bad news. Rebellious California has a serious problem with authority, and President Donald Trump just spanked them with some bad news that you don't want to miss. It's about time the Golden State learned a little something about federal law. According to Fox News, the extreme environmentalists in Sacramento have just gotten a rude awakening from Trump's EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt after he announced that some of the federally approved privileges that California enjoys are going to be re-examined. Most notably, Pruitt talked about the radical Obama-era emissions regulations and California's previous push to have even stricter emissions laws than the federal government. On Tuesday, April 3, 2018, Pruitt laid out his plan to roll back Obama-era fuel standards, which many see as a huge win for the automakers and the American economy. This is bad news for California, which more or less leads the way for over a dozen states with emissions regulations that surpass those passed by the EPA. As a result, the Golden State has driven many businesses to other states and hurt their own economy with unreasonable emissions controls. In regard to federal regulations, Pruitt said, "These standards that were set were inappropriate and need to be revised," during a speech at the EPA in Washington, D.C., adding that the rules are too expensive and hurt car buyers by making vehicles costlier. Pruitt spoke directly about his goals and specific reasons for wanting to roll back Obama-era emissions regulations. "The focus should be on making cars that people actually buy and that are efficient," he said. Pruitt's decision to overhaul the nation's first carbon limits on automobiles, which requires cars and light trucks sold in the U.S. to average more than 50 miles per gallon by 2025, shows a joint effort between the country's automakers and the Trump administration to recreate a decimated car industry. "This was the right decision, and we support the administration for pursuing a data-driven effort and a single national program as it works to finalize future standards," the Alliance of Automobile Manufacturers, which includes Ford, General Motors, and Fiat Chrysler, said in a statement. "We appreciate that the administration is working to find a way to both increase fuel economy standards and keep new vehicles affordable to more Americans." The announcement wasn't music to everyone's ears, however. California immediately pushed back as the EPA's announcement went public. Now, a legal battle over California's privilege to have stricter emissions regulations than the federal government is sure to ensue. California passed its own Clean Air Act in 1970, allowing it to set its own greenhouse gas emissions standards. The liberal-run state is able to maintain that kind of autonomy based on a waiver it has with the federal government, which Pruitt now says will be under review. The smack talk had already begun a day earlier in Sacramento, according to the Associated Press. The Trump administration's assault on clean car standards risks our ability to protect our children's health, tackle climate change, and save hard-working Americans' money, California's militant Attorney General Xavier Becerra said in a statement on Monday. "We're ready to file suit if needed to protect these critical standards and to fight the administration's war on our environment." California didn't become the sixth largest economy in the world by spectating, Becerra added. Over a dozen other state attorney generals joined Becerra on Monday to rebuke the Trump administration for the rollback, calling it irrational and irresponsible, while vowing to vigorously and aggressively challenge President Trump's dangerous anti-environmental agenda in court. Pruitt handled the situation with class. In regard to California's nasty attitude, he said that cooperative federalism doesn't mean that one state can dictate standards for the rest of the country. EPA will set a national standard for greenhouse gas emissions that allows auto manufacturers to make cars that people both want and can afford while still expanding environmental and safety benefits of newer cars, he added. "It is in America's best interest to have a national standard, and we look forward to partnering with all states, including California, as we work to finalize that standard." I applaud President Donald Trump and his EPA boss Scott Pruitt for taking the bull by the horns. States like California think they are above federal law in so many different ways. As the Golden State politicians get ready for a legal battle over emissions regulations, it will be interesting to see them try to convince their voters that living under needless and expensive regulations is better.